Hi, my name is Adnan Hasbi and welcome to the Funny Finance Guy. In today's episode is as per the title, it is Kuching has declared being a red zone. And what this means in terms of stocks is that if we look at maybe the airline or the travel stocks, it's going to be bumpy again, whereby typically when news of like this were to come out, people will kind of get jittery, just like I think last week. I feel like every time when I come on a live session, it's always talking about the same stock, Air Asia, Air Asia, Air Asia. But anyway, as we could see from last week episode, the COVID numbers kind of took an inflection point where the number of cases rose higher than the recovery. And Monday we saw the stock react accordingly. So right now, Kuching has declared a red zone. At this point in time, I'm not sure whether people from Semenanjung can go up to Kuching. But if they decide that they're going to put a restriction on traveling, it's going to be not so favorable for the company. And I think the stock will be, again, volatile again. Aside from talking about Air Asia, I know I've been talking about this stock for, I think, almost half my channel talks about this particular stock. So I think since we want to get like a broader sense on other sectors, we cannot be a one-trick pony, right? So when we want to talk about other sectors, I think the other sectors that may get affected would also be sectors which trade in high-ticketed or big-ticketed items. So this could be maybe cars or maybe houses. And one of the reasons why I'm saying this is that typically when bad news comes out like this, a lot of people, there's this index called the Consumer Sentiment Index. When that affects the Consumer Sentiment Index in terms of their job security, people will not want to spend on expensive items. And I think that these two sectors will be affected. And the third sector that will be affected would be the REITs. I know right now that the yields for REITs are very attractive, given that the whole market had a sell down not too long ago. But if we want to invest in REITs, buyer beware for that. One of the reasons is if we look at if we look at offices and if we look at malls, I think these two have been impacted quite significantly. Should the buyers change their buying behaviors and buy online, that could be a negative catalyst for the REIT sectors also. So those are stocks. I just want to kind of share with you guys certain things which I learned these past 2 or 3 months. Being in the industry and everything, we have kind of like a wide web of people, and we get information from the ground. So there's 2 data which has been coming out. Number one is that companies, they are in a position of wait and see. So post the lockdown, a lot of people have been going back to their jobs, right? And many of these companies right now, they are wait and see situation. As we know that some companies, their balance sheet has depleted quite significantly, where they have to dip into their cash pile. So I think that I guess the employees just be relatively beware, I guess. The next thing I want to say is, even when talking to people in Prokeso, which is involved in giving unemployment benefits, even they have been giving me information. This is pre-COVID, that a lot of industries are letting go of people. And this is not even with this is not even the lockdowns. It is with automation and machines taking many of our jobs over here in Malaysia. Not to scare anyone over here, I don't want to just give you guys a doom and gloom situation. So if we expect the unemployment rates to kind of creep up in the country, there is a couple of things which I want us as a family to be aware of, and you as subscribers. I thank all the new subscribers on this channel. But should the unthinkable happen, and I hope it does not happen, I think that it's about time that we take care of our own economic well-being. At this point in time, I know that people with accounting skills, they can always go to Freelancer to get an accounting job. A buddy of mine actually got 1 or 2 accounting jobs. Even someone like me, an ex-analyst, I can actually go to Freelancer. I can write proposals to get funding from prospective venture capitalists. And maybe for you guys, you know, if you guys have a particular skill, look at a particular skill, put your profile up on freelancing websites. It's I guess it's spelled Freelancing. So I think it's just a precautionary measure, and you know, I've been relatively, every time when the news comes out, I just want everyone to know before anything were to happen. So I'm a relatively cautious investor, I think, as you guys can see. So with that, I hope that this information was useful in terms of your stock trading. I know I mentioned other sectors, like, remember, big ticketed items and also the REITs. But these are more long-term as opposed to short-term. Once the quarterly results were to come out and the quarterly results come below analyst expectations, fund managers would do a quick dumping of the stocks. So just want you guys to have that information. And also, I think structurally, if you look at the REITs, I think office spaces, when more and more people start getting used to working from home, I think that offices would be relatively redundant. I mean, as you guys also know, that with the Tun Razak exchange and also the, I think there was one tower, which maybe wants to build one of the highest buildings, that is also an office glut. On top of that, with the way we consume items, we buy more things online as opposed to shops. I think these are the sectors, or these are the REITs which may get impacted. And once that happens, we as investors would have a yield compression or a drop in our dividend yields. And so those are the things which I want to say. And finally, again, as I mentioned, to recap, just be relatively cautious. I think unemployment numbers may creep up again. And I got this data from both government agencies and the private companies themselves. So, like I said, always be cautious, always be hustling, always get information out there. And with that, I think next week I'm trying not to talk about airlines anymore. So if there's any news which comes out, I'll try not to do it live. Feels like I'm always doing episodes. Every time I come on live, I'll be like, oh, hi guys, you know, more volatile news. So I think I'm going to focus on another sector. It's a growth sector, and I'm going to do it next week. And I hope to see you guys soon. Guys, please take care. Please always, take care, and please always be hustling. And I hope to see you in the next episode. With that, I'd like to thank you, dear viewer, for being and watching this particular episode. And I want to thank future viewers for this episode. Please consider to subscribe if you found this episode useful. With that, take care.